You did a really good job at your hair. This is a video. You did a really good job at your hair.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What's up, tribies, and welcome back to the tribe. I first want to say thank you to all of my new tribe members who have joined into this big, beautiful, melanated tribe. And if you have not joined into this big, beautiful, melanated tribe, I'm going to need you to go over here and hit that subscribe button and join into all of this tribalness that we have got going on over here. All right. Okay, so in today's video, we're going to be talking about a subject that us mothers know and love so well, and that is postpartum hair loss. Let's give it up. Let's give it up to the postpartum hair loss. Okay, so let's start with what is postpartum hair loss. So when you are pregnant, you have a increase of hormones, estrogen, progesterone, all types of hormones. So basically what is happening is those hormones are causing your shedding and your growth phase to slightly change. So your growth phase is accelerated. So it's longer. I'm not going to say accelerated. Yes, in some women it's accelerated, but it's longer. And your shedding phase is almost non-existent. So you are holding on to the hair that you normally would shed within the month or the day. So you're holding on to all of this hair. And at the end of your pregnancy, they say approximately 4 months after you have your child, your hormones kind of start regulating back to normal, and your shedding phase is now present. So all of the hair that you have held onto over the course of 9 months is now shedding. It's now coming out. Now for some women, it's horrific. For other women, it's minimal. Postpartum hair loss hits you in different areas of your hair. It could be right in the front where the majority of women get this, and it's also shedding in the rest of your hair. So a lot of mothers find that their hair is thinning. It looks a lot thinner than it normally does. You're going to get balding spots here, which is what I got. A lot of different things. And a lot of women also say that their hair is not the same after they give birth to their children. Now for me, I did not notice a change in the back of my hair because my hair has always been thick. There's no surprise there. Nothing happened to the back of my hair. But I went bald all here. Completely bald. And I did not notice it until one day, exactly 4 months postpartum to the freaking day, I was in the bathroom and I was doing something to my hair, and I was like, why is my scalp so white? Like, what the hell is my scalp so white for? And then I got a little closer and then I touched it. It was tender to the touch, and I noticed that my hair was gone. I did not know how I didn't really notice it. I think mainly because I wore my hair in twist outs the majority of the time, so it kind of just covered. I just didn't pay attention to myself. I had a newborn. I didn't really have time to pay attention like that to myself, so that's probably a reason why I didn't really notice it. And I didn't notice it because the rest of my hair was unchanged, so there was no change in the back of my hair, only the front. So after researching what is going on, I found out something called postpartum hair loss. Now, the women in my family, my mother, my aunts, they never experienced this. They didn't know what I was talking about. They thought it was crazy, and they were like, you can, spare some strands of hair. I'm like, dude, it's in the front of my hair. So it hit me. It was probably my only real setback throughout my whole natural hair journey, was this balding that I have here. And it's still really not the same. This short piece is the result of an area that went bald, and then as you can see, like, this is another piece, but I just kind of took a piece of longer hair and kind of blended it in with that. but the front of my hair was, I'll post 2 pictures here so I can show you guys what my postpartum hair loss looked like. Now, it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to stress over too much because your hair will grow back. It just takes a little bit of time, a little bit of nurturing the areas of your hair that was affected by the postpartum hair loss. And like I said, it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's something that is normal and it happens, and it's just the byproduct of bringing a beautiful child into the world. So it's nothing to be ashamed of. I promise everything will be okay. If you have went through it, you know what I mean. And if you're going through it right now, rest assured that there are things that you can do to help to regrow your hair back a little quicker. And we're going to talk about those things in this video. So let's get into it. Okay, so as I was going through this, I was researching things to help my hair grow back quicker and thicker and all those things. Now, as far as it growing back thicker, it grew back exactly the same as the front of my hair has always been. There was, it didn't grow back thicker, but it just grew back normally. So your hair just goes back to normal, and it just seems like a lot is coming out. It seems like it's thinning just because your hair is letting go of all of that extra hair that you would have been normally shedding. It's just holding on to it. So when it starts to let go of it, it does seem like your hair is thinning a lot, but your whole cycle will go back to normal. So evening primrose oil is one of the things that I took to help my hair grow back a little faster. And I'll put all the benefits right here of evening primrose oil for postpartum hair loss and shedding. So I'll put all the benefits right here so you can visually see. And I would suggest that you do research on evening primrose oil if you are breastfeeding, if you're nursing like I did with my daughter. You really want to see the interactions that it could have, especially if you're taking other medications. So disclaimer, make sure you do your research before purchasing or before using evening primrose oil for your postpartum hair loss. Okay, another thing that I did was I used evening primrose oil, the actual loose oil. And I used to just massage that into my temples every night along with my castor oil. And over time, the area did fill in. It was almost like one moment I was bald and the next moment I'm like, oh, when did that grow back? So it will grow back. You just have to have some patience and just trust that everything's going to be okay. Now, as far as hairstyles, when you're going through postpartum hair loss, or if you're going through any type of hair loss or thinning of your hair, you really want to make sure that you put your hair in styles that is low tension, okay? Because when your hair is already excessively shedding and you're putting more tension on your hair, on your scalp, it's only going to make matters worse. You're going to create more bald spots. You're going to create more unnecessary shedding. And this is something that we want to eliminate. So make sure that you have very low manipulative hairstyles and very low tension hairstyles. I wore my hair in 2-strand twists, but I had thicker 2-strand twists. I wore my hair in thicker 2-strand twists. And yeah, that was perfect for me because I would redo my twist every maybe 2 weeks. I would redo them every 2 weeks because they were a lot thicker. So, and my hair was a lot shorter. So it really wasn't an issue for me to kind of redo my hair every 2 weeks to get all of the shed hair out. Buns, I wore my hair in just like a low bun, and I'll put a picture of that as well. So I used to wear my hair in a very low bun that was very low tension. I did not tie the bun very tight. I used one of those really big elastic bands to kind of wrap around my hair because my hair was still thick and it was still pretty long, but it just wasn't as long as it is now when I had my daughter. So that was another good hairstyle to do. Buns, big, fatter, chunkier twists is a good thing to do. The things you want to stay away from is box braids, anything that has to do with Okay, speaking of postpartum and motherhood, that was my mother calling me right in the middle of my video. So, all right. So, where was I? I think that I was stuff you want to stay away from. So, hairstyles you want to stay away from are box braids or anything that has to do with extensions. Stay away from it. And the reason I say that is because if you're putting your hair in box braids, which you would normally keep in for a month or two, depending, all of that hair that needs to shed and get out is now stuck in there. And not only is it just stuck in there, you're putting a lot of tension on your scalp because you're adding weight to your scalp, to your hair, uh, with the extension. So that's adding weight. That's actually making your shedding a lot worse. You just don't know it yet. And when you take those box braids down and you try to detangle your hair, it's going to be a lot more and it's going to look like a lot more and it might freak you out. So you want to stay away from that. Sew-ins, definitely stay away from it. Definitely stay away from sew-ins. Like I said, it's going to be the same thing. You're putting so much tension on your scalp that's already going through a lot, that's already excessively shedding. So you just putting more tension on your scalp, it's not going to end in a good thing. And all that hair that needs to come out is just staying in there. So that's going to create a lot of knots and a lot of tangles. So keep it simple and you will fly by this in no time. And the reason I say keep it simple is because you are able to effectively take out those shed hairs if your hair is in a style that's a lot that's low manipulative. So you want to make sure that you stick to low tension, low manipulative hairstyles. Please. Buns are great. Two braids, keeping it stretched, chunky twists. All those are really good alternatives to making sure that you are good to your scalp and that you are not stressing out your scalp more than your scalp is already stressed about. Okay, so just keep it simple. Head wraps, perfect. You can also do that. I didn't do a lot of head wraps actually. The only thing that I did was kind of kept my twist tied up like if I was at home, but I didn't do a lot of head wraps back then. I just kind of kept my hair in two-strand twists. So now we got that out of the way. Okay, so another thing that helped me grow my hair back during postpartum hair loss is tea. Now, I share with you guys that I drink a lot of tea. And I don't mean just like a cup a day. I mean everything that I drink is tea. And it's normally green tea. And green tea it has like DHT blockers, which is really good for hair loss. Even if it's not postpartum hair loss, it's a good thing to drink. You will see a difference in your hair as well. You can use black tea as like a black tea rinse if you wanted to. I don't really drink black tea a lot because it has different caffeine in it than green tea does. But every once in a while I do get down with my black tea. It just depends. So green tea is really good. Turmeric tea is really good. You can actually just get a bowl of turmeric, slice it up, put it in a pot, boil it, make a tea. That way, turmeric is really good for circulation, scalp circulation, just circulation throughout your whole body. So I would really suggest turmeric. You can use powdered turmeric, and a lot of people do, or it's an Indian remedy where it's called golden milk, and you basically just mix in turmeric with milk. I don't really drink cow's milk a lot, but I do drink like soy every now. Actually, I drink soy. Like if I do Starbucks, I get soy. But almond milk is really good, and hemp milk. So those are three alternative milks. If you're not into the soy, hemp milk I really suggest, and almond milk I really suggest as well. So you can mix turmeric into those milks and heat them up. Stir it up, add a little bit of honey, and it's called golden milk, so that's really good for your stimulation stimulation. It's really good for circulation, your circulatory system, get your blood going, get your body pumping. So that's another thing that really helps. Yoga. let me tell you, I did yoga postpartumly, and it was amazing because you're doing a lot of inversion poses, so that's really good for scalp stimulation because all of the blood rushes to your scalp, thus creating circulation, blood flow into your scalp. So that's another thing to try if you're postpartumly going through shedding, or if you're just going through shedding and hair thinning as well. Making sure that your nighttime routine is a-okay, so making sure that you are not sleeping on your hair and creating friction. You don't want to do that. You always want to make sure that you are tying your hair up properly at night, and I would suggest doing that by using a satin bonnet or a satin scarf with a cotton scarf over it to prevent it from slipping off at night. Perfect. You can also do a satin pillowcase if that's your thing. It's never been my thing. I have to tie my hair up at night. That's what it is. Making sure that your hair is moisturized, making sure that you have enough moisture in your hair is important. You want to keep your hair moisturized. All the hair that is coming out, you don't want it to attach to other strands and pull those strands out. So keeping your hair lubricated will help the shed hair come out more effectively if you do have looser styles. And even if you don't have looser styles, even if you're doing your hair in chunky twists, you still want to make sure that your hair is lubricated, so when you do go to redo those twists, that all the shed hair is coming out effectively. If you choose to use combs or detangling tools, do it with caution, because as you guys know that certain detangling tools will pull out unnecessary hair. I do not use any detangling tools. I only use my fingers to detangle my hair. I've been doing that for maybe the last 5-6 years, maybe even longer. I can't, I just like lost count of everything, but yeah, that's another really important thing to do, is to make sure that the tools that you're using for your hair is good enough that they're not pulling out unnecessary strands. Heat, you want to eliminate heat as much as possible because your hair is going through a time of stress. You do not want to add more stress to it. Now, a lot of women say their hair does not go back to normal, that their hair changes after childbirth, but everything changes after childbirth. Our weight can change after childbirth. Our mental health can change after childbirth. The connection between you and your husband can change after childbirth. Everything changes after childbirth. But you have to remember that giving birth to a child is actually the best gift in the world, okay? And although a lot of things change, does not mean they have to change for the worse. You have to make sure that you still keep your mental state and yourself sane, and using like aromatherapies and different scented essential oils is really good. Meditating, all that, you have to keep yourself whole and sane. And okay, sorry, I got cut off. So like I was saying, as mothers take on a lot of responsibility within the family, but you have to find time for yourself to kind of de-stress and just decompress throughout the day. That's I mean, that's all the advice that I can really give you. Take it easy, take a bath now and again, and don't forget about yourself, because it's very important to keep sane and keep a good, mental space and stay grounded when you have children, especially if it's your first child like it's mine, and there's still things I'm learning along the way, but everything will work its way out. Your hair will go back, and you will have a healthy and happy baby and a healthy and happier you if you just take a little time out for yourself. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you have any questions about postpartum shedding or hair loss in general, go ahead and throw them down in the comment section below, and I will get back to you guys as quickly as I can, as fast as I can. I would suggest you guys follow me on Instagram. I'll put the link down below. I love you guys. Don't forget to rate, comment, and join into the tribe, and I will see you guys in my next video.